Okay. So your name?
Bernhard Eckert.
Spell the last name?
Eckert, E-C-K-E-R-T.
And when were you born?
In December 1925.
Where?
In Berlin, Germany.
In Berlin, Germany. And you had brothers and sisters?
I had at that time, yes.
How many?
I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Older or younger?
The sisters were older and the brothers were younger.
Okay. And your grandparents? You had grandparents?
Yeah, but they didn't. They lived in Poland.
They lived in Poland. Okay. And what happened? You went to school?
I went to public school, evangelical public school, Lutheran school, and I was the only Jew in the whole school, but nobody knew about it. And I was a good pupil.
And then what happened?
In 1938, they arrested my father, and because we were Polish citizenship, my father got it, and that's why they didn't touch us.
But they arrested him?
In 38, because the Polish government said they don't want to take none of these Polish Jews who live in Germany back to Poland. Because Germany wanted them to ship back to Poland. So the German government arrested all the men.
All the Jewish men or all
the Polish Jews, Polish citizens.
Okay.
And put them on a train and put them to Poland. By force.
To a camp.
In Poland, the Polish government put them in a camp in Poznan.
Okay. Okay. And then what happened?
In 1939.
So you never saw your father again?
No, in 1939, my father got permission to come back to Berlin to liquidate the business, and which he did, and we all moved to Poland.
Okay, and what type of business was it?
Furniture business. We had a furniture factory and 3 stores.
Okay.
One was antique furniture and 2 office of furniture. And he liquidated everything, he sold it for 10 cents on a dollar, and we went to Poland. That was in August of 1939. We got to Poland, and we were even able to take our furniture. And in 1939 the war started. And 2 weeks later the Germans came again to that town in Sambor in Poland, eastern Poland. But 2 weeks later the Germans left and the Russians came. The Russians were with us 2 years. I went to Russian school, high school. And
did you speak the language? What language?
I learned Ukrainian. It was Ukraine. I learned Russian and Ukrainian. Wow. And then in 1941, Germany attacked Russia, and the Germans came again. And from that time on, they made a ghetto in Sambor, and we lost all our belongings. We had to give everything away, the bicycles, the furniture, everything, the piano. We had to give everything back to the Germans. The Germans took everything away. We went to the ghetto. Then in May 5th, 1942, there was action, it's called, and they came, special Germans came, and they arrested everybody, and they said they're shipping them to go to work, but in the meantime they were shipping them into a camp where they killed everybody out. Same day, the same day. I was able to get out of it because I worked for the German Ortskommandantur, the government of that territory, and the officer, the German captain, took me out, and I was able to take my father out too. But they told us the rest of the family would go to someplace in Ukraine. They're going to go to work on the farm, so it wasn't too bad. And the officer promised me he's going to bring him back, so it wasn't such catastrophe. But they were killed the same day they got there. All the family, my two sisters, my two brothers, my mother,
and you were how old again?
I was at that time in '42. I was 16.
16.
So then, after a while, they took my father away, and the Ukrainian police shot him. They shot 5,000 people that day in the forest. I didn't know about it until after the war. So, and I was working for the German soldiers, and then they couldn't keep no more Jews. The SS told them to get rid of all their Jews. But there was a German truck company. They were contracting to the German army to bringing ammunition and stuff to the front. So they came all the way from Germany, and they had a station in Sambor where they repaired the trucks. They had many very big trucks. And I was working on these trucks. We're rebuilding it, and I learned fast, and that's when they liquidated the ghetto. I was living with the company which employed me. We were 7 Jews which survived over there. And then one day, they arrested us.
And where were you sleeping?
The German had over the shop. It was apartment, was a regular building, but the people were thrown out. There was no. So we were at beds there. We had no. We had a cover, but and the truck company gave us food. They cooked us meals. They gave us breakfast. We worked there while they liquidated the ghetto. You would have been in the ghetto, I would have been alive. They liquidated everything there, took the people to the mountain, and they shot them all, mass graves. All the people from the ghetto. They got their 2 big graves in the mountains. And then one day, we all got arrested, and we were put into jail. And we went to that jail 2 months. And we always thought that one day they're going to come and just shoot us, whatever. But one day they came, and it was Hanukkah. It was in the winter, December. They took us to a camp in Drohobych. There was still a camp of Drohobych where Drohobych was a town with oil, and Borislav next to it. And they took us to Drohobych, and I worked in the garage there again, because they had trucks there too. And then one day, they told they were going to take us to the forest to kill us. So the men over there, I didn't know about it until later when I was there, had underneath the garage everything hollowed out. And they had bread there and water there, and we stayed there for 3 months, and the Russians wouldn't come. The Russian, artillery was shooting every night, but they didn't come. So one day an Ukrainian saw that we were going out for water, and they saw the footsteps in the snow, so they called the Gestapo, and they came and arrested us again. We didn't want to come out in a hole in the ground, but they threw grenades and their gas grenades, we had to come out. And then they took us into Boleslav, where they had a camp where they collected all the Jews which they arrested in the forest, which are hiding in the forest, or any other places. And they sent us to Plaszow, which was a concentration camp. And from Plaszow, we were there a while. I worked in the garage again. And from Plaszow, one day they took a transport, and they took most of the people from Plaszow and shipped us to Mauthausen. So I got to Mauthausen on the train. They put 140 people in each wagon, and maybe 10 walked out alive. The rest all died. They took us for 7-8 days. No water, no facilities at all, nothing to eat, and people died like flies. We were out of my wagon, maybe 8 people walked out. I was among them, and I was in Mauthausen. In Mauthausen, they made us carry stones out of the stone quarry. And all day long we had to go 5 times up, 186 steps. And people got killed there. If you didn't have a hat, they were killing you. So the Ukrainian police took your hat off and threw it over the fence. And later at night, they killed you. So I made sure I had an extra hat. When somebody died, I took his hat. I had it hidden in my chest, underneath my shirt. And one day, the Ukrainian took my hat and threw over the fence. He thought for sure I'm going to get killed. But I had the extra hat and got saved. Then they shipped us from Mauthausen to another camp, a working camp, which worked in the Hermann Goering's Werk. They were making tanks. And, but I wasn't working on the tanks. I was working, making bunkers for the Germans. Concrete. I was working on concrete, making big, heavy walls, making bunkers where the Germans could be hiding when the American bombs came, which they did. They left us outside, and the bombs hit the men. The prisoners were hit by bombs, but the Germans were inside the bunker, which we built for them. And then one day, people are dying like flies because they had no food, and the food they gave us was grass. It wasn't even food. Or green bread. It was green because of bread gets green when it's not. Mold, correct. That's the only food we had. But one day, the Germans woke us up early in the morning, gave everybody half a loaf of bread, good bread, and coffee was made out of wheat, wheat coffee. And we were told they're going to give us up to the Americans. They're going to turn us over to the Americans. And then they marched us into a tunnel. And the prisoners went in, and the German guards came out. So there are no prisoners coming out. So we were worried about it, and we just refused to go into that tunnel. And we could too, because that tunnel was full of ammunition, and they was going to blow us up with the ammunition in the mountain, in the tunnel. And so we all went back. We revolted against the Germans, killed some of the guards, and the rest ran away, and went back to our camp. We had no place to go. But at camp, the Ukrainians were killing the Jews. There were few Jews left. And they were killing Jews, so I picked myself up at night and walked out of the camp and went into the mountains, and I stayed with a farmer, with a peasant. And he made me well. I found out I had tuberculosis, and he made me well. And then I went, afterwards I went to the hospital to get rid of my tuberculosis, but I couldn't cure it completely. And the war was over, and an American officer found me on the street. I was already ready to die. I had no more energy left. But he took me to a castle near Heidelberg. And over there, the UNRWA came, they gave us good food, and that's how we grew up to be almost healthy again. I wasn't completely cured, but I was gaining weight, and I was feeling better. And I got to Heidelberg because I was in Linz, and I wanted to go from Linz back to Berlin and see if my family's alive. But in Heidelberg, I got so sick that I had to go to a hospital. And then there was a sanatorium in the castle where the American officer, captain, made it. And he collected all these sick Jews who are living on the streets in all over Germany and brought them to that castle. And we had UNRWA came, and Red Cross came, and they gave us food and everything. That's how I was liberated.
Now you said you were at Dachau?
Yeah, I was for a few days.
Few days.
Just transport, 5 days.
Okay.
I was in Auschwitz too, 5 days. And I was a transport to Plaszow. They sent us first to Dachau, from Dachau to Auschwitz, from Auschwitz to Mauthausen.
Oh, okay. Okay. Have you been back?
Yeah, I visited everything. I visited in 1990. I went to Mauthausen. I went to Dachau, I went to Auschwitz. I made a trip all over Europe, visited all the camps. Yes.
Wow. Well, thank you very much
Okay.
for telling me your story.
Okay. No. Thank you.